Okay, what is up? I'm working on the early stages of this double page spread. And of course, this is going to start out with some thumbnails, as you can see here. There's my little handy, sketch pad here, not very big at all. The thumbnails themselves are probably something like, 3.5 by maybe 2 inches tall, slightly bigger. But yeah, I'm just going to start. And one of the things you have to do when you work with like traditional thumbnails, pencil on paper, you have to, at least what I do is I have to blow them up, kind of eyeball things up. And on top of that, I didn't really like the way the layout initially in my thumbnail was situated. So I'm going to basically flip the image as I begin laying out this page here. And I'm starting out with essentially what you see, these little they kind of look like, they kind of shaped like carrots. But basically those are the basic spaces that I want to indicate on this side of the page of where the bodies are actually going to be composed in the layout, where I want to place them. And I start out with these tall, kind of like I said, they kind of are shaped like carrots. They give me pretty much the foundation, or I should say the positioning, approximate positioning, to also not only set up where they're going to be, but also do some basic perspective here. As you can see, compared to the thumbnail, I actually decided to tilt the angle, the camera, so that the weighted characters on the left side of the screen, or of the page, the spread, are pulling down. Plus it's the right hand side of the page, so when you open it, you see them first, and they're not like on the left hand side when you open it, open the spread page. But here I'm using some perspective techniques here by using the two foreground characters in the center of these quartet of characters, if you will, and scaling their approximate heights back into the eye level, or the horizon line in the back. And then I'm sketching in some background elements as well. But usually when I'm working like this, if it was digital, this would be a slam dunk, so to speak, because I would just take my thumbnail and blow it up. But doing it with traditional media like this, paper and pencil and erasers, I manually blow things up, and then I'm able to have basically have to redraw it from the tiny thumbnail. But I think it keeps the approach very fresh and very loose for me, personally speaking, and I do like that about working with paper, pencils, and so forth. I think for me, I'm really at a point where, yeah, I know the digital stuff is somewhat easier and convenient, gives you more flexibility, but I kind of like this. I prefer this working where I have to, again, do a thumbnail on paper and then scale it up onto the 11 by 17 boards. Like in this case, it's a double page spread again. And honestly, I enjoy being able to have this basic skill. And I know if I had to work on digital again, well, then I've got that nailed down, I think. But working with paper, again, I've always done this because, or recently I've done this in the last few months because I just wanted to break from creating digitally. Everything else I do is digital, whether it's design work, video editing, it's all digital. Like this, at least this portion of penciling and inking, as I'll eventually get to a little bit down the road, not in this video, is just so much more relaxing in a way. So the next phase of this layout, or after this layout that I'm roughing in, is to then draw in the characters themselves. One of the things that I've always been very much in favor of for my own process is using reference images to draw from. However, with doing my artwork, pencil on paper, and being a comic book artist, I want to be able to draw my characters from a cartoonist perspective, which if I've got my illustrator, if I'm an illustration type of artist, I'm thinking reference, I'm thinking, what images, shots, and I want to look for or set up, whether it's through photo reference from, professional photographers or Google searches, or even the posing digital mannequins that I pose on the iPad or whatnot. I want to be able to draw the characters outright, and depending on the poses and the angles, I am able to do that from time to time. And quite honestly, not having to always use reference photos, it saves time. And I will say that as I'm doing this here, it is something that I have to kind of bring back into my own workflow, is getting back into like a certain mindset of being able to have a certain amount of being almost fearless with approaching the art, and like, let's just go ahead and draw this in and go for it. Like, I've been doing this for a number of years now. Like, I kind of know what I need to do. And at this point, like, while I am striving to be a better artist and make things look as I want to or envision them in my mind's eye, at the same time, I want to get this artwork out. I need to complete this comic book, and and it all starts with finishing up this page. And so without having to use reference a lot, again, depending on what I'm drawing or the angle or the poses that I'm using, it's refreshing again and somewhat relaxing to just kind of just jump into it and just draw these characters out. Now, I will say that these poses here that we were seeing with these, at least, the 2 foreground characters and the 2 background characters in this shot, they're not terribly difficult angles. I mean, they're pretty much straight up. The only thing that makes this somewhat more, other than straight up, is I tilted the camera angle in the panel, which again, that was intentional. But it is, again, like, from my perspective, I'm having more fun, and I think I'm a little bit even more relaxed, just enjoying the sketching part of these, kind of roughing in these figures. This is a very fun phase for me right here. I normally, inking is my favorite aspect of the comic book page creation, but again, being able to do this and just draw, not having to use reference, is a good thing as well. Again, I always am a proponent of using reference, but in this case, it is, again, it's fun, and it kind of, and that's I guess what I'm getting at is it's bringing the fun back into drawing. I'm just drawing it and having fun with it. So now moving on to some background composition here. What's just storyline wise, what's happening with this page from my Real Material comic book series? It's the 4th issue. It's pages 26 and 27, I think. And there's obviously I'm drawing rocks and in the kind of the foreground area. And this page is going to have a kind of, I don't know if callback is the right word, but you'll see things from the 1st issue here showing up in this double page spread, as well as the reveal of who these characters are. So as I'm planning out this page, I have to think back to what I've drawn before and bring back, as I said, elements from the first couple of issues, the first 3 issues of this 4-issue kind of series or story arc that gives, that kind of ties things back to the beginning of the storyline. But at the same time, like, working on these backgrounds are, from the technical perspective, it's always a crutch of my own art. But I have to admit, I'm having fun, because I think it has to do with the speed with which I'm able to knock this out. Again, working pencil and paper lately for me has been the fastest way to execute these ideas and get these sketches and pages, the sketches on these pages nailed down. And again, I'm enjoying it. So what I'm going to do here now is talk about, again, I'm going to go back to the first figure here. When I say the first figure on the shot here, it's a figure that is in this particular shot, we've got 3 characters. So the middle character, with regards to the layout here, the one where you've got the one female character's got her arm on her shoulder. The character here is going to be Kasia in her new costume. I mean, the previous pages I already showed, we saw that was Kasia in her new costume. So that's always, it's probably a small thing, but like a new costume was, I mean, it's nothing, I guess, nowadays, but like it's cool to me. Maybe it's a bit of a throwback to kind of say, hey, and here's our new costume. But as a creator, like I have to basically draw something that is entertaining, but also entertains me while I'm doing it. So as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, okay, no more reference. I'm just drawing in the face here. So as you see me kind of pencil away here on this part of the page, on this part of the character, what I'm really doing is realizing that I am drawing small. So this face right here, this head shot, is probably no larger than the size of a quarter, a quarter. And one of the advantages of drawing digitally is you can just zoom right in and draw that. But again, taking upon the challenge here of drawing small, and I do wear reading glasses it gives me some amount of magnification. And I'm aware that you also have the overhead lamps that have a magnifier, even like an overhead magnifying lamp, or I'm not sure what they're called, but we have one in high school in our graphic class. You can use that to help magnify as well. But again, I think the skill of being able to work on and hone my own skill of being able to draw the character at a small scale really helps to give me that range in my own ability of drawing small versus drawing large. So with this here, it's just a matter of, again, it's been many years of just and constant working on my skills, I think, to just improve and hone my craft. But here again, I'm being fearless, I think, in just attacking the page and drawing it and penciling it and roughing it in, not afraid to erase stuff. Obviously, I have to erase stuff if I'm going to get this, and there's a shot there of the new costume for Kasia. But this is just essentially me working, again, within the confines of the real world, like a splash page. Sometimes the character's head might be the full size of a page, which presents its own challenges, but also has its own unique type of look, right? But here, drawing small is the challenge here, but it's a fun challenge. And again, being fearless with the art, just do it, draw it, knock it in. And then of course there'll be more refinement to do as I move further along into finer penciling and inking. So anyway, that was the point of this video here, just to show you my starting progress here of how I get from a thumbnail in my tiny little spiral notebook to or sketchbook to eyeballing it and blowing it up and making adjustments on the fly, like flipping the composition or the shot within the pages, to drawing it and sketching out and working in a little perspectives, and being a little more like fearless and just draw the character, not looking for perfection, and just again having fun with it and making sure that I do have that fun, because it's what keeps me going. And hopefully that shows through in the artwork. So thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, thumbs up would be cool. Leave a comment if you're so inclined. And if you would subscribe, that would help the channel out immensely. And I will catch you in another video. Thanks for watching.